Okay, so jumped out the kitchen, lunch service is over with. I want to just go back over the principles of what he said makes the best risotto in the world, because I want you to be able to do it at home. So here, the first thing that's really important, the onions, the celery, the olive oil, cooking for about 10 minutes, just to soften it up. That's called the sofrito. Now, I'm going to make this for 6 people, right? So 6 good, generous handfuls of rice goes in there to suck up the oil and the flavour from the vegetables. So the first thing that the rice gets is that initial flavour, right? And a little salt, you notice, goes in just to get that seasoning happening. And then he didn't use any wine, but he said, you know, for a seafood risotto, you can use a wine. I've seen in different parts of Italy, people using vermouth. You could use water or you could use stock. I'm gonna use a little splash of wine and literally cook it away. So that goes in. And the beginning of the process of it becoming creamy and like a lovely oozy sort of porridge begins, okay? All I'm going to do now for about 16 minutes is put a ladle of stock in. Now, this is one of the most important things. Broth is what gives you the gold, whether it's leftover roast chicken at the weekends that you just boil up, or of course a couple of organic stock cubes. And I'll do that every 45 seconds to a minute and cook it for 16 minutes or so until it literally doubles in size and becomes deliciously creamy. Now, what I thought was really interesting is that there's been rice dishes here way before the pasta dishes, and with the early, you know, doges and the spice traders, you know, rice came over from the Middle East, and you know, the land here was so fertile and fantastic and marshy that it was perfect for growing rice. Therefore, it just did really well here. They started cooking loads of it, and that's why there's more risotto dishes here than anywhere else in the whole of Italy. Right, look at that. So the risotto's had 17 minutes. Love, care, attention, stock, stirring. Let's have a little taste. Right, al dente, to the tooth, you know, all of that business. Risotto should never not be a pleasure to eat. It shouldn't be fluffy and like a sugar puff, you know, but it wants to, you know, you should be able to feel its shape in your mouth, but when you bite through it, it's a pleasure. So I'll leave that bit to you. Knob of butter goes in. Now, Parmesan, I'm going to use a nice little handful. It's not much by weight, but literally by the time you've grated it, it looks like a fair bit. We can turn that heat off. That gas is now off, and we're just going to fold that. You don't want to cook Parmesan, it goes horrible, right? Now fold it in. Look at that. So that, boys and girls, is the basis of all risottos. That is the risotto bianco, okay, the white risotto. So what I'm going to do now is one of the key things. I'm going to put a lid, or in this case a plate, on top of here. Just let the risotto sit and relax for 2 minutes. And I want to show you 3 flavours. The first flavour is some half tomatoes, bit of garlic, 4 leaves of basil, olive oil, salt and pepper. So let's make a beautiful tomato and basil risotto. So what I'm going to do is simply go back to the pan. I'm going to take some of this, look at that, absolutely heavenly, and then we're going to stir it up. Just stir it through. You can put it on top, you can stir it in, right? But I swear to you, this will be heavenly, right? So I'm going to plate up the first one, right? This is a beautiful cherry tomato and simple basil risotto. Okay? If you're an uptight person, you can remove the skins from the tomatoes. If you're a geezer, like me, we have the skins on. And I'll finish that with just a couple of little basil leaves, a little bit of olive oil, and then just a few bits of Parmesan, just to remind him. Look at that, heavenly. Okay, the second one. I've just cooked peas in a bit of water, a bit of olive oil or butter, and a few bits of mint, okay? I'm gonna take that Bianco risotto, mix it in with the peas. Then in this one, what maybe I'd like to do is get some parsley and some mint. Mint is obviously very good friends. Get that in there. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Absolutely delicious. Risotto of pea, mint. And you know what I'm going to do on that? Just because I love it, and just get a little bit of beautiful goat's cheese and just put that in the middle. Grate a little parmesan. And again, another absolute cracker. Finish it with a tiny drizzle of oil. And then my last one, but not least, how could I do it without doing the lovely artichokes, the carciofi? You know, sweat the artichokes, just sliced simply with olive oil, garlic, a little water, you know, and artichoke risotto is a big deal out here. Really good. And I don't really want to muck about with it too much at all. Just get that texture right. All the time, you're making sure that it's, you know, loose and delicious. Here we go. So let's plate up this lovely carciofi risotto. Absolute classic of Venice. How beautiful that is. Beautiful. And you know what? I want to do nothing to that. Just a little. That's it. And you got 3 beautiful risotto. And I tell you what, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many risottos you can do. Anyone can do a risotto. Go out, get a packet of risotto, and whatever's in your fridge, you can make something. Roasted squash risotto, wild mushroom risotto. Of course, there's the classic seafood risotto, or we could do red wine and borlotti bean. That is an absolute classic. I love that one. What else we got? Oh, if you've got any leftover oxtail, that is fantastic. Oh, lamb on a Sunday, cut it up, stew it with some onions, a little bit of tomatoes, give it 2 hours, put that little